Uh, I love you. I got to make this video, okay? Come on, move your head. Hey, Penelope, move. I need you to move, honey. Go that way. Okay. Sorry about that. All right, guys. So today we're going to talk about something that's important, something that is needed within the realm of what we do, but also has to be taken with extreme caution. Okay? We're going to be talking about recognizing if potentially you are being cased for a robbery or a burglary while working in security. I'm going to give you guys a situation that I'm currently dealing with. And I want to preface this by saying that a lot of times when we work in security, the bulk of what we accomplish, the bulk of what we do in terms of deterring crime or stalling out some sort of violent aggression or act, a lot of times we don't get to see the benefit of that. Okay, let me explain. Because something didn't happen, how do we quantify the fact that our involvement is what led to that thing not happening? Okay, let me say this again. Because our job is specifically to deter, right? And to deflect any sort of crime, any sort of burglary, any sort of robbery, any sort of acts of aggression, because we're on site. A lot of times, the benefit of what we do, we're not able to validate that, quantify that, to be able to pat ourselves on the back because the thing never happened. It's not like the police, right? The police, they respond to crime. Something happens, they show up, they, eliminate the threat, they stop the problem, they arrest the suspect. It's very easy to validate, quantify, and congratulate someone when there's a finality to something that they actually did. And we don't get that in security. So when I'm talking about this subject, I want you guys to keep in mind that everything that I'm saying, everything that I'm telling you, everything that I'm going over, it might never happen. Now, we don't want a robbery to happen. We don't want a burglary to happen. We don't want a mass shooting to happen. But on the other hand of this equation, myself, you, anybody else that's working in security, you're not going to get any sort of credit and you're not going to get any sort of validation for something that didn't happen. All right? I just want to make that clear. So here's the scenario. This is where a little bit of profiling, this is where observe and report come into play. And I'm going to explain to you guys the situation of what I'm dealing with. And I hope that none of it is misconstrued or taken in any way that it's not supposed to be. Okay. I work in a location where I am very familiar with the demographics of people that come into that store. Okay. I work in downtown Portland. Downtown Portland has a pretty standard demographic of people that are in that area. I have worked at this location for 4 years. I know all the major players. I know the homeless people. I know the people that are your standard customer clientele. I know the people. I can tell when someone is visiting from out of town. They have a different vibe, a different feel, a different swag, right? These are all the things that you pick up when you work a location. So anytime that a different demographic were to come into that location, immediately they kind of stick out. Over the last 2 weeks, we have had 2 individuals that have come into our store dressed very similar, almost, down to the T of the thumbnail that I put in this video. That is not common for the location that I work. Both of these individuals have come in with what I call felony carry style of a concealed weapon, a pistol. That would be in the pocket, front pants pocket, upside down, magazine facing up. In both of these situations, because they're not normal customers or not normal clientele, because the way that they carry themselves, the way that they dress, the way that they look, it separates them from the normal demographic of people there. It immediately piques my interest, right? And so I am really good at looking at a person and quickly scanning their waistline for weapons, scanning their hands for weapons, front of their pockets. And both of these individuals clearly are carrying pistols. I have initiated the protocol with the loss prevention officers to get on camera, to pull these two individuals up. And each one of these situations have happened a week apart, right? At no time are either of the people coming in with another person. It's always one person. But when these people are coming in, they're walking around the store, they're circling the store, and each time they have walked near, close to, or up to our customer service desk. Okay? Take that information and do with it what you will. Give me 1 second here. So, I don't think that it's a coincidence that when both of these individuals have walked in, at both instances, they've immediately seen me. The same way that if you're working in security or you have decent situational awareness, you have decent, social awareness. You don't have to be a security guard. You don't have to be like a two-way person. If you pick up on people's proximity, people's vibe, if you notice that, I feel like a lot of people that have ill intentions, they pick up on that too. My point is that I am very confident that both individuals, right as they came into the store, they saw me seeing them. One of them kind of gave me the look away eyes and then continued on towards customer service. The other person walks in, sees me, feels that I'm seeing them, turns to me and then asks me, hey, do you guys have a bathroom? And in both of these situations, I immediately pick up that there's a firearm. Now, when I say that I pick up that there's a firearm, this isn't me like saying that I think that there was a firearm. Like, clearly there's a firearm in both of these individuals' front pocket, magazine sticking up, like it's very obvious. Someone who carries a firearm like that is clearly neglecting a lot of firearm safety protocol, right? Someone who's carrying a firearm like that clearly is not, I don't want to say educated, but it's just, that's not a proper way to carry a firearm, especially if you are a responsible gun owner. And in one of these situations, one of these two individuals is clearly not of age to be carrying a pistol. Clearly. This is a older teenager. All right, let's just say that. So in this situation, both of these instances lead me to clearly be very cautious of the fact that they're in the store for a lot of different reasons. I mean, we know about the mass shootings that have happened, individual random crime of people being robbed, being assaulted, even kidnappings, like that has happened here in our area. But definitely robbery is the most plausible thing that could happen in this situation, right? My biggest concern is that this is something that hasn't happened in the 4 years that I've been here, seeing something like this. To see two individuals come in and do the exact same thing, dress the exact same way, carrying firearms the exact same way, that to me is a very unlikely coincidence. Okay? I think that it's important for security guards, security officers to not allow yourself to brush something like this off. I think it's very easy. It's very easy for us to brush it off. It's also very easy for us to go the other way, right? I know some security guards who, given the information that I've just laid out to you guys, would have probably approached these people, would have run up on these guys, come in hot, God knows what, right? So I'm sharing this information with you guys to reiterate the importance of even killed balance. What you don't want to do is act as if you don't see anything. What you don't want to do is not report this information to your supervisors, to the people that are on your team, to the people that maybe are working those locations when you're not there. But what you also don't want to do is go completely rogue and become super cop and engage someone that maybe is living a gang lifestyle, maybe is living a criminal lifestyle. I think that we sometimes forget the gang member, the criminal, the person that literally is going to rob the liquor store down the street. They got to get groceries too. They get thirsty. They get hungry. They want to grab a donut. You know what I mean? Like those people, they go in and do their normal shit too. It doesn't necessarily mean that their nefarious intentions are pointed at your location. So by engaging, coming in hot, going super aggressive and running up on people when they legitimately haven't done anything yet, that can trigger a response that now you're in a situation that you maybe didn't have to get into. So on both sides of this issue, both sides of this equation, it's important for the guard, for the officer to remain perfectly balanced, perfectly aligned, understanding the possibility and the potential, but not tipping the scales to where now you do have a situation, right? Very, very, very easy to do. Very easy to blow it off as though it doesn't matter and it's not important. And it's very easy to tip that scale and make a situation happen that maybe wasn't going to happen. But I will say, my spidey senses are tingling. My spidey senses are tingling, and I don't think that it's a coincidence. I don't think that it's just happenstance that these two individuals have come in dressed like this, both carrying firearms, both circling the customer service area, both just kind of walking around, just kind of watching, kind of looking, you know. Let's see what we got for the comments so far. Stand by. Yeah, nothing on the comment side. Yeah, I'm hesitant to really go too much further with this. I'm hesitant to go too much further with this because what I don't want is to put people on high alert and make you do something outside of what you need to do. Guys, we have a very specific set of protocol, very specific set of post orders. For us, we are to respond. We're not police officers. You don't have investigatory powers or ability to do something like that. The best thing that you can do in these situations is pick up on it. I cannot stress that enough. You have to be able to pick up on these things. You have to be looking for the waistline, looking for the pockets, looking for the hands. The eyes are the window to the soul. The hands are the window to intention. Look and see what they are doing. Look and see how they're carrying themselves. But do not blow this kind of stuff off, okay? Make sure that you're aware of this stuff. You're picking up on this stuff. You're processing that information of what these people are looking like, what they're doing, where they're walking. My question immediately was like, it doesn't. There's no real question as to why the customer service area desk would be an area where people would look to potentially approach that area. But then when I'm thinking about it today, I'm like, in relation to where people are positioned, in relation to where exits are, I'm like, okay, this makes perfect sense. Start looking at those types of things and thinking about those types of things with how you're going to respond to it. I put a question up in my community section. I said, does your company have a protocol? I'm going to assume the vast majority of companies, unarmed and armed, okay, that the vast majority of companies do not have a protocol for something like this. Now, most stores, whether it's a Walmart, whether it's a Big Lots, whatever the store might be, I'm assuming that they have a policy on open carry of firearms. If you live in an area where concealed carry is okay, then clearly, like, you wouldn't ever have an issue with someone concealed carrying in your store. But how does that apply to people that are clearly incorrectly carrying? Concealed carry is not having a firearm in your front pocket, sticking out of the damn, right pocket. That's not concealed carry. Concealed carry is not having a shoestring wrapped around the firearm and it's hanging out of your waistbands. So ask these questions of your company, you know. Ask your supervisor, what do you do in these situations? Do you simply just back off, make sure this person has a clear exit, even if they were to rob the store? Are you just supposed to back off and let this person run out? Like, what is the protocol? Start thinking about how you would respond to a situation if something were to happen and what your involvement needs to be in that. Because, like I said, this is highly coincidental and it's really out of the ordinary. And generally, coincidences and things that are out of the ordinary are red flags that something is potentially going to happen. Okay, let me see what we got here. Okay, I don't think I have anything else on this topic. All right, guys, I will leave that with you. More of a rant and something to think about, not necessarily a discussion point. Make sure that you're observing what's going on around you. Be aware of your surroundings. Keep your head on the swivel. If you're working today, please be careful. Watch your back, and as always, be safe and be great. Okay, you guys be great.